This is Cool Japan, and today we're going to take a look at the amazing Yamaguchi powered by Revoltech Gambit figure. And let me start off by saying, if you are not a fan of Revoltech, or if you don't know much about the Revoltech system, then you are probably gonna hate this figure. But if you're a collector and you love articulation, like super good articulation, and you're not prone to raging, then I would definitely recommend this. So anyway, let's continue on. So first up, let's take a look at the box, because we all love a nice, beautiful box. So right here, you see it says Amazing Yamaguchi, powered by Revoltech. You see a beautiful picture of Gambit right there. This is series number 12. It's the 12th figure in the line, and it's sculpted by the amazing Yamaguchi Katsuhisa. And inside you can see the, actually we're going to look at that later. On the side you see some more pictures of Gambit and some quotes. And yeah, looks awesome. Other side you see another nice picture of Gambit and the amazing poses that he can get into. On the back you see some more pictures of Gambit, of course, and some more quotes, which it's nice to see quotes again. And you see the accessories and the two types of faces. When you open the box, you'll see on this side there's a picture of Gambit right there, and some cutout cards that you can use. They're not double-sided, unfortunately, but you know, it's a nice addition. I probably won't be cutting them out myself, but it's nice to know that they're there. You got more on this side, and another shot of Gambit. And when you take out the sleeve, or the background, or whatever you want to call it, you see a nice big picture of Gambit, a bunch of other characters that I hope they will release. I mean, Sabretooth, that'd be awesome if they made it. So anyway, that is the box. Next up, let's take a look at the accessories. So right out the box, he comes with these two fisted hands, and it's the same with all of his hands. He has these gloves, and the thumb, pointer finger, and pinky are cut, so you can see his exposed fingers, which just adds to his charm. Looks really awesome. Next up, he comes with these gripping hands, which you can use with the cards that he comes with, or with his giant staff. Or if you really wanted to, the fingers are soft, so you could actually put a gun in there as well. Pretty cool. Next up, he comes with another type of gripping hands. These are a little bit more loose, and they are also used to hold his grip, to hold his bow, or to also hold his cards. You can stick the cards between his fingers. And last up, he comes with these splayed out hands. Look really cool. They have a peg hole in there, which is where you peg in his throwing cards. Or you could just use this for any kind of cool looking pose. Next, let's take a look at the weapons. First up, he comes with these energized cards, which look really great. One is the Ace of Hearts, and the other one is the Ace of Spades. They look really nice. Let me just pop it off real quick. So it comes with a peg, which goes into his hand, fits in nicely, and you can see the Ace of Hearts right there with the effect. Looks really nice. It goes from clear to pink, purplish, and you just pop it in his hand, fits in really nicely, and it goes under his finger. Next up, he comes with these card throwing effects, which look really nice. They are completely clear with the gradient from clear to purple, and they peg into his open palmed hands. They are tricky to get in there, but once you know how to do it, it's very easy to do, and it just looks great. It looks like he's throwing his cards. Let me take one off real quick just to show you guys what it looks like. It looks like that, And there's also, if you look really carefully, there is an L. So this goes for his left hand, and the other one goes on his right hand. It also comes with a little R on it. Yeah, kind of tricky to get in there, but once you get it, it looks great. And his last weapon is his bow. Looks really cool. It's a very nice length, and it fits nicely in his hands. He's got a pretty good grip on it, and unlike Deathstroke's staff, the paint doesn't seem to chip on this one. Probably because his hand is soft and it doesn't really scratch up the paint, but anyway, it looks really nice. It's easy to fit in his hand, and he can get into some pretty cool staff poses. He comes with 2 different face sculpts. Now, this is the one that I've been using in all the poses so far. He looks really good. He's got a very handsome looking Gambit face, and if you take it off, you can see that his eyes are actually articulated. So you can move around his red pupils, or I don't know, just make them completely black. So he comes with this neutral smiling face, smirking kind of face, and he comes with this angry face, kind of gritting his teeth. This one, I don't know, I don't really like it too much, but it does look good. But he could have used one more face, like a screaming face would have been really nice, because he looks a little bit too calm and collected, which I guess he is. As a character, he's usually like that, but I would have appreciated a screaming face. That would have been really awesome. And last up with the accessories, he comes with this stand, which is a very useful stand. It's a Revoltech stand. It does have the bolt right there and the screw, so it is very sturdy, and once you screw it in place, it'll hold the pose forever. And he also comes with these 2 extra joints, which is always nice. And he comes with this little tool to move around his eyes. Alright, next up, let's take a look at the paint and sculpt. And I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can because I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long. So anyway, first up, let's look at the hair. It is really nicely sculpted, and there's a lot of shading in his hair. Unfortunately, that's pretty much most of the shading that you get in this figure, except for his torso, which looks really good. There's some kind of shading or marble kind of effect going on. It looks really nice. And there's a little bit of shading on his legs. The silver doesn't seem to have much shading, and his coat doesn't seem to have much shading at all. The back looks like that. It's kind of funky, but you could play it off as being wrinkles in his coat. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do have this factory error right here. I don't know what that is. It's just like a huge gash in his coat, which is weird. Other than that, the coat is not painted, which is good because it doesn't do any paint rub. There doesn't seem to be any paint rub because I've been playing with this figure for a while, and I don't see any paint rub anywhere, which is awesome. And yeah, the torso looks really good. You can't really see the cut, but yeah, it looks great. Alright, let's look at the articulation next. Starting from his head, he looks up that much, which is really good, and he looks down that much. You might notice that when I move his head, I'm holding his faceplate as well. That's because this falls off really easily. It's pretty aggravating, but yeah, this falls off all the time, which I'm not too happy about, but it's, you know, something I can deal with. But yeah, he looks down a lot, and he can crunch a lot as well, so you can make him look straight down, which is great. He can arch his back, kind of. I mean, you don't Actually, no, well, I mean, he can kind of arch his back. Or you can make it look like he is. And let's see, yeah, his arms are basic Revoltech joints. There's a double joint right there, so you can make it look like his arm is flying off. He does have this shoulder thing, and this also does come off pretty easily, so you got to be careful with that. But it's nice because you can use it to cover up the joint pretty easily. His elbow joint goes that far, which is really good. If you look at it from here, it does look kind of strange, but you could just pivot it a little bit and it looks fine. Oh, and he has paint on his buckles, which looks great on his coat and belt. Looks nice. And yeah, there's a ball joint at the wrist, which is pretty standard. He does have these shoulder joints, but it's hidden very well with his coat. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. There's one problem with this part, is that it does come off very easily. It comes off, but it's also very easy to get back on, so it's not a huge problem. And it also gives you a look at what's going on inside. Right, next up are his legs. It's kind of unfortunate, these are Spider-Man, Revoltech Spider-Man type legs. They don't just splay out. You gotta work at it. Kind of move it up and swivel around his thigh. But depending on how you work on it, he can kick sideways. I mean, he can get much higher than that if you want. And he does have a cut at his thigh, so it does swivel around. His knees, you can get him to bend pretty much all the way, which is great for some cool poses. You can have him kneeling down like that. And his kneecap has this joint, which is great. Batman didn't have that, which was super unfortunate, but looks like they're wising up because it does have it. There is a cut at his middle of his lower leg. It lets you pivot around a little bit, which helps in some situations. His foot can bend out that much, go up that much. He does have the toe joint, and you can swivel around his foot. So the articulation is there. You can get him into any pose you want. And let me just take some pictures and show some of the cool poses that he can get into. Oh, before that, let's check out his height, because I'm sure you guys are wondering about his height. So let me get some other Revoltech figures and I'll be right back. Here he is standing next to Spider-Man and Wolverine. He is a little bit taller than Spider-Man and a head taller than Wolverine. He looks really good next to all of them. Yeah. And here he is standing next to Goku and Ryu from Street Fighter. And here he is next to Boo. So he is a pretty tall character. He's not like super tall, but he's a good deal taller than your regular figure arts figures. So it's pretty cool. So all in all, I would say this is a great figure. If you're a fan of Amazing Yamaguchi, then definitely pick this up. If you are a fan of Gambit, then this is a really good look for him. I mean, it's his classic look, and he looks awesome, and it would probably fit with Marvel Legends. So yeah, it looks awesome. Let's check out some cool poses.